Hello, my name is Maddie Kilpatrick, and I'm going to be doing my current event on the Standing Rock protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline currently happening at the Sacred Stone Camp near Cannonball, North Dakota. Specifically, I'm going to be focusing on the Morton County Police's excessive use of force as a means of deterring peaceful protesters, and how this is not only another way of dehumanizing Native American people, it also demonstrates a blatant disregard for Native American land, culture, and life as a whole. So what happened recently was on Saturday, November 19th, police sprayed peaceful demonstrators who tried to pass a police barricade on a bridge with tear gas, rubber bullets, and water cannons in the sub-freezing temperatures of the North Dakota winter. Their resistance is to the construction of the North Dakota Access Pipeline, which is going to run through Native American reservations, sacred grounds, and the Missouri River, where the inhabitants of the Standing Rock Reservation actually obtain all of their clean drinking water. Prior to the water cannon incident, the use of rubber bullets and tear gas had also been liberally used to deter these protesters over what is now almost this year-long protest. Native American people are fighting once again for their land and their culture, trying to protect what little land they have left. The North Dakota Access Pipeline has inspired Native Americans from across the country, all different tribes, to unify and resist the project. The reason there is such strong solidarity amongst all of these different tribes is because the dispute over the pipeline is part of a long-standing fight to have the sovereignty of their nations respected by the United States government. So the displacement of Native American people has unfortunately been a pretty consistent trend in United States history. The entire foundation of North America as we know it is based on the genocide of indigenous people. By the time Christopher Columbus reached the Caribbean in 1492, historians estimate that there were 10 million indigenous people living in United States territory. But by 1900, that number had reduced to less than 300,000. For hundreds of years, a combination of colonial conflict, disease, slaughter, and discriminatory politics have devastated the Native American population. Indigenous people were forced to become refugees, dependent upon white colonists. During colonization, the Europeans' desire was to weaken and control indigenous people so they could conquer and enslave them and successfully, completely whitewash them. They wanted to destroy all of their cultural ties, governmental structure, sovereignty, language, so they could isolate them. The Native American people who did survive colonization survived because of their strength and their spiritual resistance. The American Indian movement has been making strides for Native American people for the past 500 years, but hasn't always been directly defined up until the late 60s. As mentioned in the article, A Brief History of the American Indian Movement. Before the American Indian Movement, or AIM, in 1968, culture had been weakened in most Indian communities due to United States policy, the American boarding schools, and all the other efforts to extinguish Indian secular and spiritual life. The movement was founded to turn the attention of Indian people towards a renewal of spirituality, which would impact the strength of resolve needed to reverse the ruinous policies of the United States. At the heart of the American Indian Movement is deep spirituality and a belief in the connectedness of all Indian people. The current treatment of the North Dakota Access Pipeline protesters is eerily similar to the treatment of indigenous people during colonization. The Morton County Police and the U.S. government want to completely dominate the protesters, their political views, and once again desecrate their land and their culture. Overall, it's a massive dehumanization of Native American people. By spraying the protesters with water cannons in the sub-freezing temperatures of this North Dakota winter, you're sending an extremely clear message that the Morton County Police, and more so the United States government, who so far have done nothing to condemn the behavior of the Morton County Police's use of excessive force towards the protesters, you're sending a very clear message that you truly do not care about not only Native American people, but the entire protest as a whole. These are completely disposable people. This protest goes much deeper than desecrating a piece of sacred land. The North Dakota Access Pipeline is a massive perpetuation of the United States' contempt for Native American people. According to Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz, solidarity can be shown by peacefully gathering and fighting back against racist holidays like Columbus Day, and abolishing the use of the exploitative redskin term as a mascot in sports across America. In Berkeley, California, the American Indian Movement has successfully implicated an annual day of mourning on October 12th to greet the onset of colonialism. In 2015, towns across America began to protest for Indigenous Peoples Day in lieu of the poorly named Columbus Day. As someone who has become more aware of my own privilege as a white person, I feel more comfortable attempting to assist and speak out in whichever minuscule way I can for those facing discrimination. We can use the societal privilege we have been given to stand with and support our Native peers. It is important to remember that we are standing with, not in front of, not above them. Standing Rock is not a spiritual awakening or a Burning Man type festival that you can go to and find yourself. It's very important to remember that we are fighting to have their voices heard, not ours. Thank you.